Something new and different. A storm is on its way in. Of course, I get all the way up here and then it starts raining. Looks like a nasty one. All right, I think this is my big plant order. So I got a whole ton of seedlings and just absolute tons and tons of stuff. So I think this is it. This will be a lot of work. Okay, nice big packet of trees. I think this is like 50 trees, the 50 seedlings, plus some bare root stuff, some bare root fruit trees and stuff that were on sale. Then different bushes and stuff and pretty flowers if you're for pollinator alley. So let's get them in the ground. Yeah, I think that was a lilac, and this is another bigger, this is a bigger, taller butterfly bush. So starting to fill out some of my bush row here, and this one's another hydrangea. And then one of these is a lilac. I'm not sure if it's this. All right, we got a few things in the ground. We're gonna get some more in when we come back up on Sunday. But so I got a couple new roses. They were, I don't know, like, the things are cheap. It's just like, you know what? All right, let me give it a try. So I thought a couple new small roses are for pollinator alley in here. And we got a hydrangea. Go crazy tonight. We got a lot going on with search this weekend, so gotta do search tomorrow. So more fun with the tractor. These things are not, I don't know, like I thought that this would be better with a new tractor, but it just, I don't know, all of a sudden it just stopped backing up and it just refused to go backwards. And I finally got it to go a tiny bit if I like pressed like as hard as I could, but I had to pull it in very tight. I'm gonna have to play to get it out again, but it won't back up. Like you have to like literally like stand on the pedal, and then it just kind of creeps like tiny little bits and barely does it. At first it wouldn't even do that much. So I'm not quite sure what the heck is up with it. It's just been one thing after another with it, but I don't know. I guess it's just also me not knowing what I'm doing. But in good news, the driveway is dry. That part I still can't do, but this part of the driveway is, I think, done. So I think we could get rocking. It's not perfect, but I guess kind of like perfect is kind of like the enemy, right? Because you gotta at least do something and move forward. But this is all, we scraped this a lot tonight. And it's not perfect, but you can see it's where the ground changes. I would have wanted to do more, but I don't know what the hell's the matter with the tractor. But I think that's about as much as I can do. So I have to figure out what's wrong. But I just need to get this done. So, I mean, I think I could definitely dig it down more, and I might have to add more rocks over time, I guess. I guess that's the downside of it's not dug down far enough, is that you have to keep adding rock. But I mean, it's honestly not that bad. This part here is a little bit, but I mean, this was all done with rock beforehand up here, so I mean, I guess I might just have to add a little bit more rock. Just need to get this done. And then I don't know what else to do, but hopefully I have to call them and see if I can get rocking. All right, we got like a week or so. Week from today, next Friday, I get rocks dumped. They said they're not going to come off the pavement. They're just going to dump them like right from the pavement. So I guess we'll see how well this works. I need to get the tractor fixed so I can get taken care of. But it's not doing too bad. I mean, definitely down there a little bit more I need to work. But this main first part, they said that they're not going to drive it anyway. So I just need to have, they can just dump them and then I can just work from there with the tractor. But it's really not too bad right now. So the tractor place thinks there might be something else besides the fluids, but I wanted to try to fill up the hydraulic fluid a little because I think it might be a little bit low at the leak. Like, how in the world are you supposed to do this? It's like, this is the big can. I try to get it down here and I spill it like all over the place. I don't know how I got it all over. I don't know how I'm supposed to get it all the way over there. Like, why would you put something that has to be filled somewhat regularly, like way in the back underneath where you can't reach? I'm not quite sure how you do this. I guess we'll have to figure it out though, because I think it needs hydraulic fluid. Yet again, it's rainy and icky, but we gotta get things done anyway. Gotta get lots of plants planted, so we gotta just make the best of it. This, the blue spruce were supposed to be just like seedlings. The Douglas fir was supposed to be a like bare root, and they're really like almost exactly the same size. So it doesn't really look like the blue spruces anymore, but it was a lot more expensive to get these. But they didn't have them in the 50 seedling pack, but it doesn't look like their seedling is much bigger than just their bare root, even though those were a lot more expensive, so it kind of sucks. But hopefully they'll all do well. Hopefully they can tolerate all this wet, and then they'll be okay later. Let's see, here's crab myrtle and crepe myrtle, not crab myrtle, crepe myrtle. Okay. So I got my flowering ones, I got my pine trees, I got my fruit trees. Now I just gotta figure out where I'm putting them all. Videoing with muddy, icky hands. It's like on everything. All right, you can see it or not, but there's another 2 worms in there, just in that little section right there. So another one there, another one there. So lots and lots of worms in the soil. So that bodes well for me being able to do good growing type things in the future. But for right now, I just got to get these things planted, and it is a lot of work because they all came at once. So I'm just mixing in a little bit of the better soil. I'm gonna run out of the better soil if I use it too much, but I'm trying to just mix it in a little bit, and because there's just no good way for me to do this with having to haul all the bags all the time. But all right, that's the second one in there. Put a little bit more better dirt in. All right, that one's that. One more of those guys. Time for another. These labels are horrible. They're like falling off left and right. I don't know. I'm guessing that this one has to be the beauty berry, because I don't see any other ones that are labeled that way. But some of the labels are just flat off, so I'm trying to figure out what's what now. It's not cool that the labels aren't solid enough to like hold up to planting day. Wow, so much water. And so this is coming more on the inside track more because it's going to be with like a lot of flowers. This is a flowering thing, so I'm hoping to have lots of flowers and stuff from it, and then I don't have to like worry about like getting fruit and stuff from it, so it can be poster on the inside and all that, and out of the bag is the wheel. Got a few more bags, so I don't know if I have enough for today, but at least we got some in here now, and hopefully that'll do okay. The good thing is I know it doesn't have to move again. Like a lot of these other plants I had to move last year, which wasn't the happiest thing for them in the world, so. And then we'll bring up some more mulch and stuff later. Loaded up in a nice big bucket, and I'm just gonna go down the row and try to figure out where I'm planting everything. This one is a hazelnut bush, but it's been showing absolutely no sign of life, and everything is just like completely dead there, so I don't think it made it, so we're gonna pull it out. Yeah, you see how dry that is? There's nothing left here, so we're just gonna set it down. Yeah, look at that, that's dead. So I'm just gonna reuse this hole for the new. Sweat. Alright, it kind of sucks trying to film in the rain, but hopefully this isn't too bad. It's looking like the lens is a little wet, but so we're just going to go down a little ways, and then we'll get planting again here. Alright, this was an almond tree. I think it's dead. Yeah, you can see that. That's dead. Alright, so we might as well pull that guy out and then use the spot for something else. Maybe the magnolia tree here. Alright, this is a saucer magnolia, so let's see if we can get it in the ground, and hopefully down the line it'll be some pretty flowers for Pollinator Alley. Cool, I thought this tree was dead, and then I'm seeing a little thing here coming, and it looks like it's growing off of the tree itself, so it might just be a weed, I'm not sure. But it looks different than the other weeds and stuff, so I guess I'm gonna leave this one alone and see what it does, and see if it grows anything. It's below the graft mark, so it's probably not going to be like true to what the tree actually is, but you know what, who really cares? This was an almond, but it hasn't, like, my almonds did not do good last year, so my neighbor kept trying to mow things over, so I had them like a little bit too, like, he thinks that he could just come like right under my property and just constantly mow, which in some ways is nice, but in some ways it's like he doesn't pay attention and just mows over my stuff. So I had to have these planted like at the super edge of everything, and then they didn't do well, and then when I moved them, they were just barely alive, and then when I moved them, they kind of died. But we'll see what happens with this one. So we'll leave this guy. I was gonna put the other magnolia here, but I guess not. Trying to figure out how the row goes, because I was having it come, like I was trying to give like 10 feet between the front pollinator area, and so like I'm gonna have like multiple layers, because I want to have like farm animals down the line. So I wanted to have multiple layers between the road, and besides, even just the dogs, even if I don't have any farm animals, just the dogs, having layers between the road and the and the animals is a really good thing. So I've been trying to figure out, and then I keep thinking to myself, it would be so cool if like down the line, if I had horses, if I had like these like open pathways that I could just like later build so that I could run a horse and stuff down. I used to just love absolutely going really fast on horses, so I don't know if I'm quite that brave in my old age now, but I used to have a lot of fun just running horses and stuff. So I was kind of thinking it would be kind of cool if I can get like a nice little pathway in between. So what I'm kind of thinking, like I know I've said like pollinator area up front, and then I'm gonna try to interlace like willows, and then these like climbing vines and stuff. I'm gonna lay over the willows so it looks like so I have like a living fence. I'm gonna try to long-term trim all the fruit trees that grow. I'm gonna try to trim them so that they kind of come like sideways more too, so that they're kind of being like a layer. So I'll have that layer, which with like lots of pretty flowers and stuff up front. Then I'll have a layer of willow mixed in with like the climbing vines and stuff. And I'll have to put like some entryways and stuff. And then here is going to be like kind of like my driving path. So if I want to come collect fruit and stuff from some of these fruit trees that I have up here, I'm kind of thinking, okay, so the fruit trees have to be behind the willow so that I could easily just kind of like drive up and collect fruit. So we'll see how well that kind of works. But because I didn't do it quite right, because I planted some of the fruit trees a little bit too far forward. But I'm just thinking of this as like a mix of like flowers and fruit and just like good pollinator stuff. And then I was gonna have a walkway in here, which later maybe it becomes like a horse runway, or just a way to like just drive up it to pick up the fruit, whatever I decide to do long term. And then I kind of have my row of shrubs to be like another layer, and I'm hoping, and I'm doing like, what I'm kind of doing is like 5 feet. I'm doing, I can't even find it, there it is. So I'm doing a little evergreen, and then I'm doing like 5 feet from there, but like behind, like a row behind, I'm doing a berry. So I'm kind of trying, or not a berry, but a like some kind of a flowery bush, or I do have bush cherries further back down the row, and then like up there I have like the hazelnut and stuff. So just like a good productive thing, like mixed with some flowers and stuff, because nature isn't just like singular. Nature's got a lot of different things to it, and things do better when you have like a lot of differences and stuff. If you have like everything the same, then it's boring, right? It's very, very boring if everything is the same. So, but I'm trying to figure out I think because of the way the road curves, I'm gaining distance in my pathway, and I don't want to do that, because then that'll impact, because then I'm going to have another walkway in here, or another row in here where I can come and drive or whatever with like whatever utility vehicles. And then that row is actually going to be very, very productive, because that's like all the berries and the kiwi and all that kind of stuff in the next row back. And then long term, I guess we'll see. I don't know if I want to put my driveway that's going to come to the front of the house in between the bushes and the berries, or if I want to just, and that's actually a good point, because I've got berries, but I don't have an entryway. So I'll have to kind of make sure I plan like an entryway to come into the house, because the house is going to be long term, is going to be back there. So, but yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out like where I am, and just kind of using it as a break because it's wet, it's miserable, and I'm just doing a lot of digging and trying to plant, and just getting everything covered in mud. Like the camera and everything is just so muddy. I'm gonna have to clean everything, but my clothes are just gross, and just awful. But I'm getting the plants planted, and that's the important thing. So I'm just trying to figure this out. I feel like I'm getting a little bit too much space. So I think I gotta angle this stuff up this way a little bit more. All right. Look, I have a little friend. He was climbing on my bag of soil that's right here. He jumped off when I grabbed the camera, but it's so cool. All right, I think I'm gonna have to admit defeat today. I still have all these pine trees to get planted, but I got, you can see all the way up the row here, I got about every 10 feet or so, all the way up. I got all the flowering trees planted. I got all the bushes planted. I've got all the last fruit trees planted. So not bad. A little disappointed. I was hoping I could get to them all tonight, but it was 50 trees, as 50 blue spruce, then 9 Douglas fir, 2 dogwoods. What else did I have? 2 peach trees, elderberry, plum tree, 2 magnolia trees. So that, I mean, I'm forgetting some. I know there's a lot more than that, but still, I think it's so cool because like the other pine trees I planted didn't show as well, but these you can kind of see. And I mean, I'm not in the most even row, but it's gonna be an experiment to see like how much distance and stuff I like anyway. So I was trying to do about like 15 feet or so from the front row. And I also have to adjust for the curve in the road and everything. So it's not like perfectly even. I wasn't trying to be perfectly even, but I think it'll be fine over time. So, but yeah, I'm really getting pooped, and I gotta the dogs are in the car, so I gotta get them out. But at least it could have been a lot worse today. It wasn't like, it was just like sprinkling here and there. It wasn't like actively, like intensively raining like yesterday. But everything is just sopped. I am just a mess. See, I'm just covered in like mud everywhere, like my gloves, my shirt, my pants, everything is just completely covered in mud. But at least I got them planted. That's the main thing. So but I think it's time to stop for the night. Ends down. Yes, good girl. Free. Good joy. Good job. Ready? You go backing on it? Nope. Come here. What's it on it, little girl? Have you forgotten? What's it on it? On it, please. Good girl. Good. Ins. Go back. Over. Over. Hey, come on. Go back. Go back. Go back. Over. 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 Oh my God. Ready. Go back. On it. On it, little man. On it. Over on it. Over. Somebody's getting a little tired. He's not coming as fast. On it. Back on it. Over. This way over, buddy. On that one. Come on. Get on that one.